Good afternoon. Welcome back to From Code to Cure, where we explore how AI is reshaping the future of the drug development. So today our topic is why drug discovery still takes 12 years and how can AI change that? My name is Roger Wayne, and joining me again today is Dr. Pan, the founder and CEO of Ainnocence. Dr. Pan, great to have you back.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So, so before we dive in, a really simple, quick question. 12 years. Why does drug discovery still take this long in the 21st century? And what are we really up against? What are our enemies?
Yeah, good question. There are conventionally drug discovery would have to take at least four major stages. First is preclinical drug discovery stage, and there's phase one for safety evaluation, and phase two for efficacy evaluation, and then phase three for large randomized trial of the overall population efficacy for the particular disease. So those are heavily regulated steps that has to be rigorously investigated by group of scientists and clinicians to make sure every single drug that has been proved has to be both effective and also safe to use.
Okay, so among those four big parts, what does the most time get burned, or where does the most time get burned? In the preclinical trials, clinical trials, or the regulatory reviews?
Conventionally, it takes about 3 to 6 years for a drug to when we start a project and do in vitro and in vivo studies and all the other preclinical evaluations. And then it normally took 6 to 7 years of the entire phase one, two, three clinical trial. It also depends on the disease. Different disease would have different length of trials. And then after that, there will be a couple of years the regulatory review of all the data and also other market-related regulatory issues, and eventually the drug is to get the permit to be sold in the market. And also during the process, every time we start to we will have to optimize the from, of course, the major ingredients of the medicine has to be invented, and also the manufacturing process has to be also constantly optimized during the research process. So there's a lot of work and take a really long time.
Got it. So I guess apart from the regulatory reviews in the preclinical or clinical trials, there must be a place where AI can help, right? So in order for AI to help, we need to identify any repetitive or manual work that we have been doing by human. So is there any place where AI can really help in this scenario?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're here, work on Ainnocence. So first of all, the preclinical stage, there's a lot of work that AI can expedite. Normally in the preclinical stage, it involves scientific intelligence and also screening of drug candidates. So for the scientific intelligence in the past, it takes like a group of scientists to review on thousands of literatures and patents then to find out the clues of identify potential drug targets and potential method for treatment. And currently with the AI and empowered by large language model, it can read like thousands and patent literature within just a few minutes instead of a few months with large crew of scientists. You probably just a few scientists can finish the task. So that's just a great time saver and also intelligent condensed into just a small group of people and be more efficient. And the second is drug screening. In the past, no matter for small molecule drug or biologics, you have to screen millions to even billions of actual build chemical libraries. And those timeline and normally start from 6 months to even 2 years. And also the
Wow.
spending is very, very large as well because each individual test, each compound or like antibody being synthesized has a cost. And think about millions of them being synthesized and also being tested. That just even with robotic hand, it still be very, very costly and long. And but with AI, what we can do is we can screen millions of candidates within just an hour, and the computer and we only need to test like dozens of them in real lab. And that's just a big saving on the time and also the all the chemical costs. So that's absolutely the part that can save a lot of time and resources in preclinical stage. And also in terms of clinical stage, let's say it's really hard to really shorten the period because you have to still take the same amount of patients and also have to monitor the same amount of time. However, what we can do is we can predict the outcome of each drug candidate with the data we collected in the previous clinical trial and also other resources so that we can make sure the drug candidate has a higher success rate. So normally in the past, the success rate for small molecule discovery is about 6%, and for antibodies about 12%. That's just a really small like probability to be successful.
Yeah.
With AI, we'll be able to actually increase this probability significant. For example, for phase one study in the past, it's about 20% success rate, but now it's about 80% success rate. So as you can see, even just to on the safety, this one parameter, AI and other computational simulation could dramatically help to save, wasted trials.
Got it. I guess like this is a situation where we know what to do in the clinical trial, but I guess biology is a really complex and a mystery science. Is there any time that we just don't know what to do? And if that is the case, can AI actually help over there as well? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, you're pretty correct. The biggest hurdle, bottleneck, and delay is in disease biology itself. A lot of times we simply just don't know like what is the pathology between like what's the pathology behind the disease, such as, for example, certain disease like ALS and neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Still, there's so many theories about what caused it, and even there's some putative theories we still don't know how to reverse the pathological process using what target or what mechanism to treat the disease, and which actually hindered the drug discovery dramatically. So right now there's about over 15,000 disease without cure, and most of them is because we don't just simply don't know the cause. So I think in this problem, AI actually does better than human, not just to do expedite repetitive task. They can dig into like oceans of genetic data and oceans of clinical records and find clues and hypotheses that are traditional ways that just scientists does simple analysis on very isolated data or very limited data that could discover. So I think here is probably the really big breakthrough in biology in the next 10 or 20 years would probably 80% would contributed by AI systems.
Yeah, that makes sense. So with AI, we can actually try a lot of different methods with a really low cost. So right now, let's say for the current pharmaceutical companies which are not using AI, do they have any other method of treating this, finding the solution, or they are just like, no, we are not going to find a cure for this at all? Is that what they are doing right now?
Yeah, the industry in the past, at least, a few decades, is being very traditional, which means each company they may take some clue, some hypothesis from academia research or clinical dis finding from a few individual cases, and then they started to explore that hypothesis. But it's still like it's like a gamble. It's not like a systematic analyze of all the information you can have. But now I think it started to shifting. Every individual biotech is start to adapt AI technology to analyze your approach more systematically with a broader scientific view. Also, there's a completely different type of biotech or pharma. They started to use a AI-driven methodology instead of a human hypothesis-driven methodology, which they can test the hypothesis in parallel. They can even test 1,000 hypotheses in just one shot. So that just dramatically changed how things has been done in the past.